What's going on YouTube? xDomoSenpaix here, and as usual, we are about to go over my top 10 anime of 2021. It took me a while to compile this list because, I'm gonna be honest, we've had a lot of bangers during this fiscal anime year, and I can't believe I just said that, but whatever. What I will say is that in the last 24 hours, I actually narrowed down the undisputed anime of 2021, but you'll have to wait to the end of the video to see that. If you are new to the channel and have yet to subscribe, make sure you go down below, hit the link in the description or the red subscribe button. Either one to help me towards that cause of reaching my goal, which is to become a full-time content creator. You guys are really making my dream a reality by the amount of support you have been providing, and I appreciate that to the fullest. Now, on to the video. The criteria was actually quite simple. Visuals, music, and story. Those combined help you get your overall score. Now, I'm not really gonna put a score up on the screen. That's gonna be for when I, go over anime in their own respects. It's gonna be sort of like a Rotten Tomatoes feel. Hopefully you guys stay tuned for that because that's just gonna be a new series to kick off the new year. Now, just to remind you guys, there was a lot, and I mean a lot of anime that came out this year, and believe me, I've watched 80% of them. So let that at least be a footnote of what's about to transpire. Number 10, The World's Finest Assassin. This anime completely took me by surprise, especially coming from the same creator as Redo of a Healer, and we all know how the fuck that anime turned out. Quite tragic if you ask me. The World's Finest Assassin being number 10 is in no way a slight, to be honest. It should be more of a compliment. Pretty decent visuals, some good music, and an exciting story overall to end the first season. Giving it the 10th spot on this list was easily a no-brainer, especially with how low my expectations are for isekai anime in the first place. And with how it ended, I think the second season could easily surpass the first, but we will have to see about that. You guys gonna be a bit shocked by this one because of what my criteria was in the first place, but number 9 is Tact OP Destiny. Now you're probably wondering, why is this at number 9 if it's as visually stunning, has great music composition, and the story is really good? Well, I'm glad you asked, you valuable citizen. I had planned to put this at number 2 until I found out we are not getting any more seasons of the anime, but instead we are continuing the story in the mobile game. Yay, so exciting. Everything other than that was really fucking good. Couldn't find any faults to it, but that twist of it only being a promotion for the mobile game kind of left me with a nasty taste in my mouth. Now, I will say I do plan on playing the mobile game. I'll be streaming that over on my Twitch, which is at twitch.tv/xDomoSenpaix TV. Make sure you guys stay tuned to that. That's gonna be really fun. Number 8 is Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy. Now, this was an interesting watch. I initially was just watching for the waifus and ended up staying for the plot and growth of not only the MC Makoto, but the rest of the cast as well. The premise, which falls into the isekai category, was pretty interesting, with his parents actually being from the other world in which he got isekai too. Not to mention the god of the world already not liking him to begin with. So when you add all those up, making the top 10 was not a hard decision. And we got confirmation of season 2 immediately? Oh yeah, consider me wrapped in, consider me intrigued, consider me ready to go for more Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy. It was actually one of the better releases of this year. Came out around the same time as Remake Our Life. It was a decision between that and this, and I easily went with this one. Number 7 is The Duke of Death and his Maid. Let me tell you, this anime was another one of those, oh, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and try it out, and honestly, it was one of the best decisions I have made this year. Yes, I know it's CGI. Yes, I know it's a romance story, but bro, hear me out. Combine the Victoria era setting with the character designs, with the story, and not to mention the classical music that plays throughout the entire anime. Absolute banger. What makes this an even more interesting watch is that even when you learn about the curse on the Duke, there is still so much more that we have to learn about. And I'm always a fan of information. I'm always a fan of learning in regards to just anime. I know a lot of people like to turn their brains off when they watch stuff, but not I. I love to learn. Even though the romance is so cliche, it makes you enjoy the process at which these two attempt to confess their feelings to one another and find out just how they can break the curse so that they can be together. And with the cliffhanger we got left on, oh yeah, consider me a fan. Flying in at number 6, we got Megalobox 2. Now listen, I thought that with the way season 1 ended, there was no way it could get better, right? There was no way. I was just in my room chilling like, damn, yeah, it can't get better. I was wrong as fuck. It definitely got better. And I'd also like to add that the overarching plot of battling addiction, depression, and grief was an emotional toll that I did not expect from Megalobox, especially with how the first season was. I was a super fan of the score they decided to go with for the season. It really made me feel like I was watching a Rocky film in anime form. I want you to go back and actually listen to the opening, right? I want you to watch it over and over again and tell me that's not a Rocky feeling. Fucking awesome, right? The characters, man, the characters, if you watch this season, they really spoke for themselves. This is where things got tricky for me, which was the top 5. Now listen, top 5 is actually saying a lot from the amount of anime that came out this year, so just bear with me. Number 5, To Your Eternity. The anime was just heartbreak in a nutshell. So much to the point that it numbed me to the rest of the deaths that transpired throughout the rest of the anime. The choices that Fushi had to make throughout the entirety of the season reflected just how new he was to the world, and I fucked with that heavy. But again, using the ploy of death to push not only his character, but the plot along with it kind of sullied the story for me a little bit. Nonetheless, that shit was absolutely fantastic. The music was really crazy throughout the entire season. My homie Mike pointed out there was a scene that we won't spoil just in case one of my homies watches this video who I know hasn't seen it yet and we have been trying to get to watch. Took the L. It was a fucking score that played that really jerked the tears from your eyes, and I will say it was quite fantastic. Now I said the top 5 is where things get tricky, but this top 4 is where things got really hard for me because they were all 4 equally as good. But if you remember what I said earlier, there was one who stood out amongst them all, and man, that definitely lightened the load once I got to narrowing down the top 4. Number 4, Slime Season 2 Part 2. This easily exceeded everything that was done in the previous season by a landslide, similar to another anime that made my top 2. With the mixture of character and plot progression, character introductions, and giving us a glimpse of what's to come in the future, this completely surpassed my expectations by a fucking metric shit ton. And by the way, Veldora was easily top 2 MVP of the season, followed by Benimaru. If you didn't check this out yet, I highly advise you to do so. You won't regret it. Number 3 is 86. This anime, even though it was a mech anime, I will say that this is a trend in the mechverse, and it does not fail. The anime will literally grab you by the genitals and not fucking let go. Every episode was banger after banger after banger. And the characters, they're so fucking well written. It's a crime that it has to be relegated to just mech anime. I really wish it could be more, but that's what this is. You really don't want to lose any of them, and every episode forces you to feel something, and I mean every episode. This being at number 3 is only due to the simple fact that they aren't airing the last episodes, the last 2 episodes I should say, until March, and that kind of fucking blows, especially because of where we are at now, dude. It hurts so bad. Number 2, ReZero Season 2. The best season of ReZero. No fucking competition. And season 1 was fucking astounding, and that should tell you how good of a season this one was. I talked about it in a previous video, which I will put on the screen. It introduces so many new things to the world that we could have only dreamed of happening like 2 seasons from now. And in that same vein, introduce like several new things that will last us for the future to come. And there's, like I said, there's so much more to come, at least from what I've learned. A lot of character progression from literally everybody. The writing was off the charts. How do you make me forget what we initially came to the sanctuary for? I was so invested in everything that was going on that I really fucking forgot that Rem was still out of the picture and we have to get her back. It's crazy how you can do that to me. It's crazy how good you have to write a story for that to happen. Genuinely excited for what's to come, and being number 2 is no shot at this anime, right? Which takes us to my number 1 anime of the year, Mushoku Tensei. This was the best anime of the year. Rudy's character progression and just what he accomplished made this very easy. The story sets up for so much more too, which has me hyped for the future, dog. Has me super hyped. The music selection, the character and story progression, and the overarching moral of the story. Well, the overarching plot of overcoming depression and facing your fears head on. I absolutely fell in love with the story. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I was glued to my seat every Sunday. We have yet to get a confirmation for season 2, but with how popular it is, I honestly don't see how this couldn't get a second season. If you haven't given this a chance, please do yourselves a favor and watch it with eyes not clouded by hate or judgment. You will not regret it. And that does it for the top 10 anime of 2021. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Let me know in the comments what your top 10 anime of 2021 are. And also, if you disagree with this list, feel free to express your opinions down below. I honestly find it hard to believe if anyone has the same list as me, because I don't expect many people to have the same taste. I'm just being honest. But if you did, I fucks with you, dog. I fucks with you heavy. As always, it's your boy, xDomoSenpaix, and I will see you guys in the next video.